All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope you are all doing well here in the middle of February, in the middle of winter. It's a little cold. Hopefully, we'll get some sunshine soon, but you never know. We're dealing with clouds and rain today, so gonna have to find other ways to make things sunny. Um, let's see. Today we are going to be talking about should you do your own taxes? Should you file and prepare your own tax return? There's not one right answer to this question, and I'll give you some questions and tips to have you see whether or not you think you should file your own or pay somebody to do it. Before we do that, let me introduce myself if you're just joining us for the first time. My name is Wendy Kane. I'm the owner of Kane Accounting and Financial Coaching. I do bookkeeping and payroll for independent contractors and small businesses so that you can have accurate financials and peace of mind. Okay, before we get to that though, PSA, public service announcement. You should have received either your W-2 or your 1099 by now. If you haven't received one and you were expecting to get one, you can always reach out to the client you worked for or the company you worked for and ask them. However, you can also check your email. We are now required in many cases to file these forms electronically with the IRS. And because of that, the software we use to file them electronically with the IRS also lets us file them electronically to you guys. So if you were expecting to get a W-2 or a 1099 in the mail and it hasn't shown up yet, check your email, check your spam folder, check your junk folder. There's a good chance that either the form or a link to claim the form will be in there. If it's not, obviously do reach out to the client you worked for or your former employer and ask them. They should have it by now. They were due to the IRS by January 31st. So if you're going to receive one, you should have received it by now. Okay, so let's get to the topic of the day. Should you do your own taxes? This is a big question that many people face at this time of year. I don't have we could talk about this for an hour or two and go through all the different scenarios. So no one has that kind of time. I know I don't. I know you don't. So let me give you my opinion, the quick, easy way I decide whether would think you should do this on your own or not. Okay. If all you have is a W-2, you, your spouse, if you're married, if you have is a W-2, that's all you have, file it yourself. There is nothing wrong with using the tax software. There's several of them out there to choose from, several good ones. Some, if you're under certain income limits, it could be free. Be careful about those, and I'll talk about that one other day. I don't have time to go into it now, but be careful about free filing. You can quickly become not free filing if you're not careful. Um, if that's all you have is W-2s, file it yourself. You will spend less time and less money just putting the numbers in the software, make sure they add up, double check them, and then hit submit. That's the easiest way to do it. On the other end, we have if you are an S corporation, a partnership, or if you're an LLC that is taxed as an S corporation. And if you are, you will know this, or you will have had some CPA or lawyer tell you, hey, you're going to be an S corporation. So you don't have to guess. If you're an S corporation, you should know that you're being taxed as an S corporation. If you are those two things, three things, S corp, partnership, or LLC taxed as an S corporation, hire somebody, pay a professional. Those are entirely separate tax forms. They are not the normal 1040 like you do. They have their own rules, their own set of way of doing things. Pay a professional. Those are the things we don't even learn to do those in school. You learn to do them when you're out working for tax firms. Um, and so a lot of people don't know how to do those, and it's very easy to make a mistake because there's a lot of rules that you're not going to understand and you're not going to know. So if you got one of those businesses, pay somebody, hire a professional, don't attempt it on your own. All right. Those are the extremes. Now, in the middle, we've got sole proprietors and single member LLCs. You've got a business, but you haven't gone to the S corporation or partnership, or it's not big enough to really think, do I need to hire a professional? But it's not small enough that you feel comfortable doing it on your own. This is where it gets tricky, because you could file it on your own, and there's sometimes when you should. Um, if it's pretty straightforward income, straightforward expenses, service-based businesses, um, a lot of those you can probably do yourself. The tax software will walk you through questions asking you about the revenue, the expenses. Those are pretty easy to do by yourself. If you've got rental property, if you have inventory in your business, if you've got a lot of equipment, those are times when I think you need to use a professional, because it's like this. It's like we've got you know, easy, and then one little tiny thing ups the difficulty level and makes everything go up. It just increases it tenfold. And again, that's easy to make a mistake on, and you don't want to do that yourself. You would rather have a professional help you get it right this year so that you're not faced with ongoing problems in the next few years. A few other questions to ask yourself though, because some of you are like, okay, Wendy, but I'm kind of smart. Like I kind of like this stuff. I like analytics. I like this. Why do I have to pay somebody? Besides, all the professional tax preparers are full. Nearly all of them are. So what are you going to do? So that also brings me to these other questions. Should you do these on your own? If you don't mind reading the rules, the IRS publications, or the rules, like the tax software will have a little question mark. You can click on it and it will give you, some guidance from the IRS. If you don't mind reading that, if you're good with reading it and thinking through and going, okay, and slowing down, going, all right, I think this is here and this is that. If you want to do that, feel free. I mean, it's not rocket science. There are plenty of people do tax returns perfectly correct on their own like that. Um, you just have to be willing to read the IRS publication or the rules, and that can be intimidating to some people. Some people are probably watching right now and going, "Are you kidding me? I'm not going to read that. I'm not read an IRS publication. I didn't even know those existed. Who would do that? I would rather gouge my eyeballs out. Are you kidding me?" If that is you, hire somebody. There is no shame in it. There are plenty of good tax professionals out there. Even if you end up filing an extension and they get it done this summer, it's better than getting it wrong, because fixing it requires a whole other process of amending a return. You can't just go back in, change one number, and resubmit. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. All right. That is a quick synopsis of should you do your own taxes. If you'd like more tips on this topic and others, feel free to sign up for my newsletter at kaneaccounting.com. I offer some tips through there. Follow me on Facebook. Every Wednesday, I'm going live to have more topics like this. And remember, no one is born knowing how to do this. It is okay if you need help. Follow me for more advice. Thanks.